So the team at Super Clean sent over some products for me to use in my next video. So let's check out what they sent me. Alright, so looks like they sent over a spray bottle with their original formula and an aerosol can. So let's put both these to good use and do some cleaning and see how well they actually do. So on screen now is a bunch of their current retailers. You can pick this up in the store. And here's some online retailers that sell Super Clean products as well. Now I do want to state up front, Super Clean did sponsor this video, but I am able to give an actual review and my honest opinion. So let's check out how this stuff does. I have used this stuff before in the past, and it does pretty well. But let's use it on a few different things this time, and see if we get different results. So the first test I want to do with the Super Clean product is underneath the gas cap here on my wife's SUV. She has never cleaned this thing, and it just looks disgusting on both sides. So I'm going to hit it with some Super Clean and see how well it cleans all this up. I'm going to hit it with a brush, just kind of agitate it a bit too, just to kind of help the dirt break up. Alright, now I'm going to hit it with my hose, and just to see how well everything cleaned up. Alright, that actually cleaned up better than I thought it was going to. It got so much of that nastiness off of here and inside here. Even like along the lip here where it's just building up. It got rid of all that. I don't know how well you can see down inside there, but it definitely cleaned up inside there too. So, absolutely happy with that, but let's test it on some other stuff really quick. So the next test I'm going to put this stuff through is cleaning some of my tools and this battery tray out of my MR2 Spider, which is quite disgusting. But yeah, some of these tools, some of these were my dad's. So they're pretty dang old, and like just over the years, all the grease from his hands and stuff built in all over the rubber on this handle, all over here on this adjustable pliers. This screwdriver I've had for years, and I used to always use it when I painted. So I got like crusty paint built up on here. I'm going to see how well the Super Clean deals with that. And then I have my brake caliper depressor, and it's just got brake dust built up on it over the years as well. So we'll see how that works on this. So let's clean up all 5 of these objects and see how well it does on each one. And just like before, I am going to agitate the dirt a bit too, just to kind of help break it up and get the Super Clean to work in there. So I have agitated a bit, as you just saw, but so far you can see it kind of breaking down. You can see how dirty the Super Clean is. When it comes over to this one, it got off like the grease and the grime, and I still haven't washed these off yet, but it got a lot of the grease and grime off so far, but it looks like the paint is stained. This one, it's breaking down a decent bit, but I think I'm going to hit it again. When it comes to the screwdriver, it definitely got off the grease and the grime, but it's leaving the paint. You can see it's got red paint on there. And this one, it's breaking down a good bit. I think I'm going to hit this one again too, just like the pair of adjustable pliers. But yeah, it's getting there. Takes a couple coats. So I'm going to hit it again with some more Super Clean after I wash it off. And scrub it again to see if I can't get any more off. And see if we can't work on like the paint getting off of these tools too. Alright, so this time I'm going to hit it with the spray bottle Super Clean instead of the foam in action one. See if it does any better. But, like, so the tray here got pretty clean, but still in the corners, still pretty dirty. With the pair of pliers here, ooh, it'll focus. With the pair of pliers here, you can see this side got relatively clean except for the paint. This side's still pretty dirty with the grease and the grime on the handle. So I'm going to see if it works any better on the paint side with the spray bottle versus the aerosol. Very similar story with these pair of pliers. This side's getting cleaner, where this side's just still disgusting. So you can definitely see it's working, but I'm going to hit it a bit more, see if I can't clean it up the rest of the way. And again, with the screwdriver, it's still got some paint on there, but we're going to try and get the rest of it off if the Super Clean can take on this paint. It feels like it's coming off a bit. We have to work at it a bit more. Let's see. We'll see what we can do. Finally, the brake tool. It's getting there, but this stuff is pretty caked on. Again, it's years of use on this thing. So we'll hit this one again too. See what everything does with round 2 of Super Clean. All right, let's get these rinsed off again and check them out. Alright, so after 2 rounds of Super Clean on these items, it did a pretty decent job. You can see a lot of these spots got cleared up. There's still a little bit of dirt and grime, but even with my fingernail, it's not coming up too well. It's coming up a bit, but like that one's really on there. So I mean, it did a pretty good job. Not gonna complain. This had been in there probably since 2002. I didn't even try and get in there. Oh, it's coming up with my finger. Just rubbing my finger in there, and it's just coming right out. So, yeah, I'll get in there with a rag here in just a minute. But yeah, it's coming up pretty well in the battery tray. So it does a decent job on plastic. I was actually kind of worried about the rubber of the handle, but it actually didn't like tear apart the rubber on the handle. Unfortunately, it's not eating through the paint as well as I thought. I mean, I can kind of get it with my fingernail, so it is loosening it a bit. But I was kind of hoping that with the brush, it would just come right off. So I'm thinking with a bit more time and a bit more elbow grease, all this paint should come right off of this handle too. Yeah, see, it's starting to come off. Maybe I can grab a paper towel real quick. Hold on. Oh, I didn't have a paper towel handy, but I did have an old rag. Oh yeah, look at that. It is taking that paint right off. Okay, take back what I just said. Yeah, it took a little bit of extra work. I said I was using my fingernail to just scrape it there, but it is coming off. Guess with enough saturation. Oh yeah, it's coming off this side too. Look at that. Right before your eyes and my eyes. Because yeah, that's what the other side still looks like. I haven't even tried to agitate this side at all. You can still see some grease from like hands. Paint on there, obviously. All it's been doing is just sitting in the Super Queen. Let's see how well. Oh, look at that. Just sitting on the table with it. It's good enough to just wipe right off. Holy crap. Oh, took the whole rubber piece off. Slide that back on. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm really impressed now. I was just mildly impressed before, but yeah, I did a hell of a job. Look at that. Let's go check out the other tools. Now this one doesn't look like it did a whole lot. But like one side compared to the other, it's definitely a night and day difference. Especially around here near the tip. That cleaned it up a decent bit, but you can see how porous the metal is too, so that probably has a lot to do with how hard it is to get this stuff to come off. But I think with more time on this one, I think that's paint. I thought that was my blood at first. But I think with more time on this one, it'll clean up a lot of this stuff. May have to get in there with one of those little wire toothbrushes too, with the Super Clean product, and just try and clean that up some more. Like I said, it's doing a pretty decent job. This one was a bit tougher, but it still did pretty good. Especially, again, the cleaner side versus the dirtier side. Let's check out that screwdriver next. Now this one I'm truly curious about, because there was a lot of red paint, and there's some gray paint on here too, but let's see. Because those pliers, it just kind of wiped away after a few minutes. Oh wow, yeah, the gray's coming up too. And the only downside is the writing that was on here is also coming off, but I kind of knew that was going to happen regardless. But I'm still amazed that it's not eating through this rubber of the handle itself. It's still got grip to it and everything, and it's not like, you know, sliding off the screwdriver or anything like that. But let's keep wiping it and see how much more of this paint we can get off. Alright, well there's still a bit of paint left on there. It did a lot better on the pliers than it did this screwdriver, but I'm sure with a few more coats of Super Clean, it'll probably take the rest of this paint right off. So, overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, there's a little bit of paint left, but again, I think a few more coats of this stuff, it'll probably come off a lot easier. Now, the toughest one of all was this brake caliper tool. And it looks like a lot of that is just still on there. I know last time they sent me out some products to test. They had one for wheels and tires. Just for like getting brake dust off of stuff. Maybe that would have worked better. I actually ran out of that one because I used it so much. But yeah, this general purpose one doesn't do the greatest on brake dust. It does pretty good on everything else, as you guys saw, but brake dust itself, it's still really caked on there. Again, this is another really porous surface too, so it's kind of hard to get inside each little nook and cranny on this metal, and it is, again, been baked on there for years. So, did a pretty good job. Not super impressed with the brake dust side of it, but I mean, I don't know how well brake clean will work on this either. We can try that here in just a minute, just to compare, see if it breaks up any more. So just as a comparison, I'm going to try this brake clean we use at work, just to see if it breaks up any more on this brake caliper tool than the Super Clean did. So I'm going to hit it with this really quick, just to see if it does anything more. This stuff I know works really well, but it also eats through paint. It'll eat up like plastic. If you have like a clear plastic, it makes it all foggy. So this stuff is not great to use on every surface, where the Super Clean has been good so far on just about every surface I've used it on. You know, honestly, it didn't do too much of a difference. Like, even wiping with the rag, I'm not getting a whole lot coming off after the brake clean was on there. Like, a little bit's coming off. You can see a little bit of dirt, but not a whole lot of difference. So it just may be my tool's just that dang dirty that it's just not cleaning up very well. So yeah, there's not much difference between the brake clean and the Super Clean products. Especially when it comes to cleaning something this disgusting. Everything else, though, I am actually very impressed with how well that Super Clean worked. I'm not going to use something like brake clean on the rubber handle of the screwdriver or the rubber handle of those pliers, because it will just soften those things up and they'll be worthless. So, again, brake clean eats through a lot of stuff, but it's not good for everything. Where the Super Clean product has been good so far on the rubber handles of stuff. So I know doing this way is not the intended use, but I am curious on how well it breaks this stuff up. So what I did was I opened this bottle up, poured a bit out into a container, and this wrench is just kind of sitting in there. And I'm going to let it soak while I clean up some other stuff with the Super Clean that you guys will see. And we'll revisit this at the end of the video. Alright, so I'm in the process of removing the 5-speed and putting in a 6-speed in the MR2. But I was noticing up under here, it is just nasty, grimy all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that Super Clean, and we're going to clean that up and see how well it works. I have put a plastic bag over my air intake, just so none of the Super Clean product gets on the air intake filter itself. I don't know how it would react to it, and I don't want to take the chance. But yeah, let's get all that nasty, grimy stuff cleaned up.
Okay.
Now, like before, I am going to agitate the dirt a bit as well. Now I'm going to get the hose in here, spray it off, and see how well it cleaned everything up. Alright, so that is very much a night and day difference of what it looked like 5 minutes ago. I literally left it on there just for a few minutes and then agitated it a bit and then immediately grabbed the hose and washed it off. And just for a comparison, here is the passenger side, which I have not cleaned yet. So yeah, that's what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like after. That cleans up a whole lot. Alright, so I have not agitated this at all. All I did was I messed with the MR2. And then now I'm back to doing this. So maybe about 10 minutes of just soaking in the Super Clean. Sorry, I was at a bit of a... Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. Look at the grooves in between here. It cleaned those up. And this is just sitting here. I'm going to grab the little metal toothbrush looking thing and see if I can't... Oh yeah, look at that. I'll hit it with the hose here in a minute too. This part wasn't sitting in the Super Clean very well, so I'm not expecting it to clean that up. But the rest of this, wow, that's doing great. What I might even do is leave this like overnight or something and see how well it turns out in the morning. Yeah, even this side. It's looking so much better. Yeah, what I think I'm going to do is I'll probably pour this into like a cup where I can stand this up straight and just let it soak from like here down and see what this stuff does overnight. But even in the past 10 minutes that it's been here, this stuff has been just eating through that dirt and grime that's on this wrench. That is amazing. But yeah, let me get a cup. I'm going to pour some in there and just, again, just kind of soak it up to maybe the joint here and just let it sit. So I never really noticed the color of this stuff, but it is kind of purple. It's kind of funny. Alright, I'm going to get a bit more concentrate in there, and then we're just going to let it sit for a while. Alright, so I got a bit more in there, and I do want to state this is not the intended purpose for this product. I'm just experimenting with it because I want to see how well it's going to break up the dirt on that. So I don't want you to think that you have to do it this way or this is the only way it actually works. Because you saw earlier in the video that even just spraying it with either the aerosol or the regular spray, it does work pretty well, especially taking like stuff off of items. The thing I'm most impressed with was these pliers. Oh, piece of grass on there. But yeah, like it cleaned up these pliers so well. So I'm truly impressed by that, but I really want to see what it's going to do in this cup with those pliers. So I'll be back here in a little bit. Probably going to leave it out here for another hour or so just to see how things turn out. And yeah, for you guys, it'll be just a few seconds.
A lot of boring math later.
So I should have known better. It'd been about an hour and the paper cup started to just soak through and all the product was leaking out the bottom. So here you can see how disgusting it is in there. So I ended up taking the pliers out and here they are. They actually turned out pretty dang well. You can see it cleaned up inside these grooves a lot. Even this side cleaned up a hell of a lot more than what it was. And the teeth here cleaned up pretty good. I did hit it with my little wire brush thing here a minute ago. But yeah, it worked really well. And if you guys remember what it looked like before, it was quite disgusting. And yeah, it's so much better now. Again, the one I'm most impressed with is these little pliers here. Those handles cleaned up so much. I am truly shocked that it got the paint, the grease, the grime, years of just nastiness on these handles gone. So yes, Super Clean is sponsoring this video, but I am giving my honest opinion about this stuff. And you even saw how quickly it took this stuff off right before your own eyes. I am truly impressed with this stuff. They've sponsored a video in the past as well, and it cleaned up some of my other stuff. I'll link it up here if you want to watch that one. I used it on like my old infrared fryer, a wheel, and a few other things, and it cleaned up a lot of stuff with that as well. But yeah, overall with this product, I'm super impressed with it. Earlier in the video, I mentioned where you could get all this stuff at. If you haven't got some already, definitely go pick some up. Give it a test for yourself, see how much you like it compared to other cleaning products that you have. But yeah, I definitely enjoy the product. Big shout out to the people at Super Clean. They're super friendly, super nice, and very helpful. Every question I have, they've always answered pretty quickly. But yeah, hope this video helped, and hope you guys got some information about this product and how well it actually works. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And again, a big shout out to Super Clean Company for sending out some products for me to test. Thank you very much. If you like any of the background music that was in this video, check out the artist's SoundCloud. His link is in the description.